want every side to come together to attempt to take down the 100 side.
Man, they gotta understand.
We want all the smoke.
We go off the content.
Three, two, one. Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we keep it real. No capping. I'm your host, bringing you nothing but straight fire and authenticity. Today, we're diving into 12 rooms that I got to promote. The 100 ENT showroom, hosted by Big Wack100. The Beehive room. Love and R&B room, hosted by the queen of the 100 side, R&B. No room for the weak. No mercy room. Spin the block room. 100 ENT Jailbreak Squad room. 100 ENT South room. Petty Betty and Toxic Tanya room. Dangerous Minds room, hosted by Beast. Good Burger, hosted by Pitbull. Sleepless in LA, and many more. If you want to get closer or you want to be a part of the show, go to Clubhouse, follow one of these rooms, or you look for a room titled with Wack100. These particular videos all made possible by the one and only Wack100. Get ready to vibe with me as we explore the hardest topics that need some real recognition in the streets. Let's jump right into it and show some love to this channel by hitting the like and or subscribe button. So, without further ado, hold it down. One mic on Wack.
To a Rory and Maul podcast featuring DJ Head.
DJ Head and Mealy Moore had a conversation where they were arguing. I guess he's respectfully arguing for Dot, and then Mealy Moore respectfully arguing for Drake. The sight of these bum ass really offended me, so I had to get past that for a bit. But then I tried to listen to the conversation, and I guess the other bum ass nigga, albino dweeb, Ruri, he was in the back kind of scoring this. And I started doing the same. I ain't gonna lie to you. So let's see.
I couldn't think of a more fitting punishment for DJ Akademiks than forcing him to watch a Maul and DJ Head debate. Because I can't name you two people that DJ Akademiks hate more. He probably hate DJ Head and Maul more than anybody else on planet Earth, and he hate them equally. So for him to watch this debate and have to come to a winner, like that's Ak was torturing himself. All right. Now, I watched some of this debate. I had to turn it off, bro. Yo, as soon as I heard DJ Head and Maul, when they were trying to break down the complexity of the term friendly fade and the socioeconomic consequences of friendly fade, like the triple entendre that came with Kendrick Lamar, I said, listen, bro. Listen, I have respect for DJ Head. I have respect for Maul. I their opinion on a lot, but I'm not about to sit through somebody breaking down the complexity and the triple entendre of the word friendly fade, bruh. Not happening. And apparently Akademiks also felt that way too, because Akademiks started off his reaction super disrespectful. I mean, I wouldn't expect any less. He hates them.
Okay. In the sense of, at this point, you've already escalated things. So now you should probably understand that it's not a friendly fade. Again, I've explained this ad nauseum. A friendly is for someone who you're friendly with. Or friendly fade.
Yo, the reason why, and I'm gonna call both of these bozos out there bullshit. Yo, DJ Head, the reason why we're so sick of you, and we can't wait for people to be beyond this Kendrick wave that you and like 15 other like YouTube reactors who just ride Kendrick all day, we could just forget them forever, is because y'all only gimmick is to suck Kendrick's. There is like, yo, you could be, that could be a man's, but like, you could also have slight objectivity. Like I was watching like everything with this dude, like, and also it's like a pet peeve with this little weirdo right here. This fucking dweeb is always trying to make it seem like Kendrick's a genius. Like I'm telling you, if Kendrick cut a fart in a room, he would say, is that Tom Ford? Is that Dolce & Gabbana? Oh my God, that gotta be Louis Vuitton. This sucker right here, I've never, like, I know sometimes y'all say I'm glazing. Bro, y'all see me criticize Drake mad times. This, he make it seem like Kendrick's a whole genius. Talking about, like, yo, they be breaking out dumb shit, talking about, oh, when he said a friendly fade. This was the lamest conversation. Like, I won't even be in no conversation like this. I'm gonna tell you what. They over here breaking down every line. Talking about, well, a friendly fade in the hood is, man, shut up.
Explain this ad nauseum. A friendly is for someone who you're friendly with. A friendly fade, a fair one we call it. A fair one is for the homie, like we have a rapport and we're gonna go eat after. We're gonna go outside, we're gonna run a fair one, and then we're gonna go eat. That's reserved for the homie. When you're quote unquote opposition, an enemy, whatever the case may be, where how we came up.
DJ had feeling the need to explain what a friendly fade is really encapsulates the arrogance of the West Coast and why a lot of people get rubbed the wrong way. Why a lot of people don't necessarily like people from the West Coast is because I believe of things like this. Now, I like DJ Head, some people don't. Now, I would say that I refrain from listening to certain opinions, or when I know he's gonna be talking about certain things, I just don't tap in, I just don't listen, so I can maintain my respect for him, you know? Like, I love when he talks about general things, but when it comes to this Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, bro, I just understand that objectivity don't exist when it comes to DJ Head and this conversation. So because I understand that, I sort of just avoided so I can maintain my respect for him. Because no matter how much I like you, if I tap in and listen to you talk about things and give opinions that I know you don't believe in, or I know that's not how you feel, or I know this is just completely biased with no form of objectivity or logic whatsoever, well, I'm gonna look at you a little differently, and that will probably affect how I do you. So I just avoid hearing DJ Head talk about this Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef completely. Now, the conversation transitioned onto, you know, the Drake tailor-made freestyle. When Drake did the AI Tupac and the AI Snoop Dogg voice, and Drake was rapping to Kendrick from their perspective, but using the AI voice, DJ Head would speak on that, and he will say it was a miscalculation, and it was essentially Drake handing over Kendrick Lamar a weapon, knowing they're feuding. He handed Kendrick Lamar over this bomb, whether he didn't know or he knew, but this bomb, he will say, is Drake's lack of cultural awareness didn't tell him that this was a bomb he was handing over to Kendrick Lamar, but it was. Because essentially what Taylor Made Freestyle did was it gave Kendrick Lamar all the ammunition he needed to go back to the West Coast and say, you see, haha, this is not my fight with Drake. This is our fight. Y'all got to rally behind this. And once the West Coast had a cause to rally behind, essentially it was over because Drake don't have that. So no matter what Kendrick Lamar dropped, no matter how much Drake felt like he was out rapping Kendrick Lamar, the West Coast and the culture and the entire coast was behind him. Drake don't have that. And because Kendrick Lamar had that, due to Drake doing that tailor-made freestyle, Drake lost, Kendrick Lamar won. So they began to talk about that, and Akademiks had some critiques as well.
To somebody who's never been in those environments, because I would not hand somebody a weapon to use against me in the real world, right? The second thing.
Well, what if it's not a real weapon?
Yo, so I paused it right there, you know, because I like to pause and break shit down. So my West Coast people, what is the definition of a friendly fade here? Because I really want to know, like, what's y'all definition? Like, because I hear it a lot.
Man, you know what a friendly fade is, man.
Right.
Like, all right. So, like, y'all cool after the fade, though, basically. Also, do y'all agree with his assessment on the tailor-made freestyle?
Right after the fade.
Y'all agree with his assessment of the tailor-made freestyle? Drake basically, you know. Go ahead.
Did you hear me, E?
Nah, I didn't hear you. What you say?
I said a friendly fade is like me and you going to the back of our studio. We shake hands, catch a little fade, you know what I'm saying? Shake hands afterward, hug it out, go have food, laugh, chop it up. That's a friendly squabble. That's a friendly fade, you know what I'm saying? A one-on-one head-up fade.
Yeah, so I don't see what the big discussion there was. Go ahead.
You're in the Matrix, Drake.
Ain't nobody trying to pull up with your grandma or that.
I didn't think about the tailor-made freestyle basically putting Drake up against the Coast, but like looking back on it, that kind of was out of pocket if you really think about it though. The nigga made AI Snoop and Tupac, bro, to go at Kendrick because they was his quote unquote idols. Like that was kind of out of pocket, and he was kind of asking for.
Wait, he did what?
You remember the tailor-made freestyle he dropped on IG, right, with the Snoop and Tupac AI? That was kind of out of pocket.
And I tell y'all, I only hear.
I couldn't hear her. Could y'all hear her?
Nah, she's in the Matrix.
All right, I'm gonna continue the audio.
It doesn't matter if it's perceived as one. Yeah, the cops is going to shoot you even if you have a gun in a phone case. It don't matter. Mm-hmm. They're going to shoot you. Mm-hmm. It's a perceived weapon. So we all know we live on the internet. Perception doesn't matter. I mean, reality doesn't matter if the perception's fucked up. Mm-hmm. Right. So the second thing was the AI shit. The song would have just been wouldn't have been a dope rap song without the AI shit. Again, screaming of lack of cultural awareness.
That's so bad, man. Yo, I don't care who died. That Drake could do what he wants. I hate these niggas, man. Who the fuck could tell Drake he can't put Tupac's? Nigga, that's my interpretation. So if Tupac can stay this man, we'll take it down and shit. But like that's what I wanted to do. This whole like, oh yeah, you disrespected people. Man, shut up. This is a rap battle. Only the yo, this has been the most made like woke but weird rap battle of all time. Well, y'all in a rap battle where is called a with no proof, but let you use a dead man's voice. That's mad disrespectful. What are we talking about? Could we make this make sense? So you call a who's alive it ain't that disrespectful, but using a dead man's voice, he ain't here to hear it.
The disrespect would be to the people who hold those people in high regard, not to the dead person, right? Because obviously Tupac can't listen, hear, or see what's going on. He's dead. However, the people who love Tupac, his family members, and others, they've seen it as disrespectful. Now, I think two things can be true. I think that it could be disrespectful to use the Tupac AI voice, but I also think it could be disrespectful to call a man a pedo without any proof. And I also think it can be disrespectful to call a man a woman beater or a wife beater without any proof. But the thing about this beef is disrespect came from all sides that is almost impossible to play the moral police. If someone want to say, man, Kendrick, you wrong for calling Drake a pedo, man, without no proof, then somebody can counter back to say, man, Drake, you is foul for calling Kendrick Lamar a wife beater with no proof. And then if DJ Head or some West Coast dude say, man, Drake, you foul for using a Tupac AI voice. And they can say, who killed Tupac? It wasn't no, if that disrespectful, imagine what the family of Tupac thought y'all did, bro. Or, hey, yo, y'all rapping a man is a pedo. Y'all are singing this at songs and at parties and at festivals. Y'all are rapping this at the top of your lungs. So you rapping about a man being a pedo and you singing it at the top of your, that's not disrespectful, but a Tupac AI voices. So it's hypocrisy that exists on all sides. And at some point, I feel like the hypocrisy cancels itself out, right? If there was disrespect on all sides by all parties, then we can't really regulate it or really say who's right and who's wrong. At this point is whoever got the best defamation wins, right?
Oh, that's too far. That's too far. Use his voice. You can't use his voice. What?
They don't like you as an artist. I would never, because I have respect for hip hop. I have respect for my elders. Even people who don't like me as an elder in the game, I would never disrespect them publicly because I respect.
Where was the disrespect?
To use someone's likeness without their permission.
Do you hear these weirdos, bro? To use someone, nigga, it's a rap battle. Yo, you be having these weird ass niggas like DJ Head and these other goofy ass niggas talk out both sides of their mouths. Here's the thing. You ever seen a rapper who's rapping take a different character? Sometimes they take the character of God or a higher power or their conscience talking to themselves. It's called creativity, brother. It's not called disrespect. If people could cosplay as God in a creative sense in rap and act like, oh, that's what God is talking to him and saying, and people are not offended, like, why would you, who the fuck, like, respectfully to Tupac, and Tupac the greatest living, no, Tupac to me, well, I used to have him number one, he's number two behind Ye. Tupac is the second greatest hip-hop artist of all time, for me. If we could do it with God, who the fuck is Pac? I think he's acting like this is like some
He cooking. At some point in that rap battle, once both these dudes decide they're going to involve women and children and they're going to involve pedo activities or pedo accusations, once those rules were set and the parameters were set, bro, there was no rules at that point, bro. It was everything goes. May the best man win. And Ak is right. Yo, we've seen more sacred things get mocked in rap songs. We've seen more sacred things get cosplayed in rap songs. So I don't feel like cosplaying a rapper, right? Bro, meet the level of disrespect as these West Coast dudes would claim. Now, here's where Akademiks took it a tad bit too far, okay? Akademiks will respond back to DJ Head claiming his disrespect. And Akademiks began to list a lot of things that are disrespectful on the West Coast that gets ignored. And when Akademiks begin to list certain things, he says certain names that a lot of people is pissed off about.
This whole thing about, oh, this is super disrespectful. And y'all niggas got no fucking unity over there, man. Like, cut that bullshit out. Y'all niggas killed Drakeo at a concert. I don't hear ass niggas talk about that. Y'all niggas got no goddamn loyalty and unity on the West. Y'all niggas y'all just all fucking one man who y'all think will help y'all, and he helped none of y'all. I don't know what the West Coast niggas be talking about.
Hey, listen, man. I don't know nothing about who killed who. But the conversation that Akademiks is trying to have, he's trying to bring West Coast dudes to the pulpit and make them have an uncomfortable conversation. The conversation is, when it comes to Drake, West Coast is trying to unify, preach loyalty to the... Yo, when you see a West Coast dude even speak about Drake in a favorable light, he gets called a traitor. So Ak is asking, hold on, bro. When did loyalty and unity become a part of this culture? When this culture kills all his popping rappers. And he mentioned Drakeo. He's about to mention a lot of other people. Now, this, I will say, took it a tad bit too far past the point of civility. Right? Just me knowing how this could be taken out of context, I probably wouldn't have said it. But Ak ain't scared of nobody, man. Ak let them have it. All right, now the next example that Ak will bring up Nipsey Hussle.
I can't stand whole niggas like this, bro. You care so much about disrespect and put it like this. Yo, let me say some real shit to West Coast niggas. Things gonna be me. I'm gonna be at the Kendrick concert anyway. Yo, y'all talking about disrespect, but every time y'all talk about none of y'all would admit Nipsey got killed because of disrespect. He called a man a snitch and niggas killed him over that. None of y'all be admitting that. This is what I like about y'all. Y'all be mad hypocritical. Nipsey got smoked because he called a nigga a snitch because he disrespected a nigga. But y'all just act like y'all didn't hear that part of it, right? Y'all say all this respect, this and third. Y'all be picking and choosing, bro. Y'all know damn well y'all be picking and choosing. Y'all be picking and choosing. Y'all talk all about this respect shit. Yo, hey, so if Nipsey got killed because he called a nigga snitch, what you think Kendrick? So if you're talking about you can't disrespect OGs, a nigga got killed, smoked, dead, because he called a nigga snitch. What about the nigga who's calling another nigga? You don't think that's kind of like the same thing? That's not disrespectful? So what is this? So you could call a nigga, but you just can't use a nigga's voice that's dead. Man, f out of here.
Hey, Ak, you about to get me killed, homie. Hey, man, I have no opinion, homie. You didn't. Hey, man, you about to get me smoked on the West, man. I ain't got no opinion, homie. I ain't got no opinion. Hey, I'm gonna ask y'all, bro. All right, I'm gonna let y'all brave ones in the comment section. Is Akademiks spitting, or is he not spitting? We think it's just battle rap. So based on that, what are the consequences for someone calling you a pedo if it's not true? Now, if you are underdeveloped Neanderthal who's probably in the streets, if somebody walk up to you and call you a pedo, you'll probably smoke them. All right. If you're Flacco, I'm walking away. Like, okay, bro, peace out. All right? I'm not fighting. I'm not. No, but in terms of Kendrick Lamar and the rules that he abide by, ain't death the only consequence for somebody calling you that with no paperwork? But somehow it's not disrespectful when Kendrick Lamar do it to Drake. But from my perspective, I feel like it's both disrespectful. I feel like Drake is disrespectful when Drake called Kendrick Lamar a woman beater without no proof. So we can't say what Drake is doing is disrespectful, but what Kendrick Lamar is doing is fine. Both is disrespectful, and because both is disrespectful, both cancel itself out, and now the battle is ruleless. It's lawless. There ain't no rules to this, man. All right, is whoever can defame the other person the best, man. That's what's going on.
Y'all niggas is tweaking. Y'all niggas pick and choose. Stop picking and choosing. If you talk about respect, let's keep it respectful the whole way. Somebody said that's not what happened. Well, you go believe what you want to believe. Niggas know what happened. Nipsey called that nigga snitch, that double back. That's what happened, bro. Stop with these other stories. We ain't hear nothing else from the cops. We heard what the prosecutor said in court to send that nigga to jail. Nipsey called him a snitch. He got mad. He went to get his gun and killed him. That's it. It's over. Like, I don't care what other theory I got going on. Until the police bring something else, we ain't hear nothing else. All right. I'm just keeping it being. Not trying to disrespect Nipsey, nothing like that, but I'm speaking facts. So we talking about disrespect? That's Nipsey disrespected it, and we seen what happened. Calling it, to me, it's like calling it a snitch. Ain't it? Calling it, I was like, calling it a snitch. And we just seen a legend get killed over him calling it a snitch. So what you think it should be on if you talk about respect and lack of respect for calling it, especially it's fake?
Akademiks had a really thoughtful, drawn-out explanation on stream. But then I feel like the ball got dropped when this tweet got made, because to me, this tweet right here was a mistake. Because essentially what this account did, now this account is under Akademiks, is ran by Grand Wizard Chat Ninja, but it is under Akademiks. What this account did was, it took something that needed a drawn-out explanation. It put it in a really short tweet without context, and tweeted it without any context. Yo, a lot of people who seen this tweet didn't see, like Akademiks stream. So all they're going off of is this right here. And from their mindset, Akademiks is provoking Nipsey Hussle. He's just, like he's doing this out the blue when, no, Akademiks didn't tweet this. Grand Wizard Chat Ninja tweeted this. Akademiks had a fully drawn out explanation that made some sense. This tweet is just out of context. And because of this tweet, man, if you go to the quote replies, bro, all you see is people say, man, bro, we can't wait to catch Ak. Man, when we see Ak, man, Ak, you better not come to LA. Listen, bro, Akademiks is a multi-millionaire. Akademiks has nothing but funds and resources for security. All right, Akademiks will be fine, bro. All right, bro, the same dude said that Charleston White can't come back to LA. Charleston White has been back to LA about 4 times. And each time he came, he collected a bag in y'all city and got his bag and left. All right, so, man, I don't see Ak being banned, bro. But apparently they want to ban Akademiks for these comments. Let me know in the comment section, do you guys believe that these comments are enough for Akademiks to get banned from LA? Do you guys want Akademiks banned from LA? Do you guys feel like he was...
All right. That was interesting. I mean,
there, you can't just have a file that someone sent you and say, oh, okay, this is what it is. So, yeah.
It's getting dangerous, bro.
Getting dangerous. I like that, though. I thought it was creative. I got a kick out of it.
That was funny as hell.
Yeah,
Yo,
that was
shout
great.
out to him, bro. Like, yeah, that was that. I need to get with him. Maybe we could do some. He could work with me on the Incredible Diapers cartoons we try to do.
Yep.
That was creative.
Well, this Big U 43 count indictment is insane.
Yeah, but you know what's dangerous about that?
Yeah.
It's still a count not there.
What's the count?
The murder.
Well, no, that is.
Nevada kept that.
Oh, so that's not part of the Fed case? Oh.
So that's 43 counts that's excluding the homicide. Nevada's going to charge that independently as a state case. If you go look at it, all the charges to the right over there, you don't see the murder.
Well, okay, no, because when you go to justice.gov, right, which is titled, it's a press release, longtime Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips leader charged in 43 count indictment alleging murder, extortion, fraud, and tax crimes.
Go look at the 70-page. You have it? The 70-page indictment?
And it says, I mean, in the press release, it says, for example, in January 2021, Henley murdered a victim identified in the indictment as RW, an aspiring musician,
that's what he said. Listen,
so you're saying that's not part, why would they include that in the press release if that's not?
What they said verbally in the press release, they also released 19 people, right? But only 7 or 8 are actually in the RICO indictment. So it looked good and it sounded good. But if you pull the indictment up, which we have it, is 75 pages of what they're actually indicting him on, the murder's not there.
Right.
Nevada's gonna
take that? Okay, so there's a RICO count, 2 conspiracies to interfere with commerce by robbery and extortion, Hobbs Act, 1 count of Hobbs Act robbery, 9 counts of attempted Hobbs Act extortion, 5 counts of Hobbs Act extortion. And
now
the extortion part was weird to me because it's like, at no point did Big U ever ask for anything from me. You would think that I would be a perfect victim of extortion.
The extortion is not on you.
It's on what, a bunch of vendors?
It's on
I'm not saying it's on me, but I'm saying like I've never dealt with anything like that with Big U. He's never tried anything with me.
It's gonna be hard for him to get out of that because the feds were actually giving the victim the money to give to him.
Oh, so it was a setup.
I mean,
in a way,
call it what you want. So that's the dude, Dale Morrison, whatever his name is. That's the guy that had the marijuana shop, right? So all those counts, you look at all the wiretaps to where you see that happening. A lot of time it was a middleman, but they arrested him too. That's Sylvester Robinson.
Okay, so what is the prostitution charge, the interstate commerce for the intent that the individual engaged in prostitution? Mann Act.
That's the lady, Monty or Manny, whatever her name is, that he said as far as the paperwork that he was involved with. But they had
I think it's a hard sell. Yeah. I think if that's all they got, if that, like for example with Diddy, if that's all they got, he might actually walk free. And in fact, I heard he's getting bail. I'm not 100% sure of this, but I know someone that knows someone in the feds that told him that he's getting bail.
The only thing about Diddy thing that has me scratching my head, and you know I don't doubt nothing they know how to do, is I've never seen a one-man RICO.
Right.
I don't know if they charged him wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they should have just charged him directly with whatever the immediate charge was, but he's under a RICO. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at Big U's thing, it's like 7 or 8 other people.
Well, do you know the people? I mean, obviously, Loose Cannon, you know, right? But there's Sylvester Robinson, a.k.a. Vay, Mark Barton, a.k.a. Bear Claw, Tremaine Ashley Williams, a.k.a. Loose Cannon, who you know, of course, Armani Effigy, a.k.a. Monty, Frederick Blanton Jr., and Tiffany Shanrika Hines.
She's the only one I don't know. And Monty, I don't know. I know of. I don't know her, but everybody else, y'all know.
Okay, everybody so you know Frederick, Mark, so you know Vay, Bear Claw, and Frederick.
I know all of them.
Okay, so are the feds saying these are rolling 60s?
Definitely, that's what they're saying.
What are they accused of?
In the paperwork, they're accusing them of being part of the extortion and robberies and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like Frederick, I know him like he trained dogs. That's how I know him. He trains and he sells dogs. I don't even think he has a criminal history. You know, not at all. I don't think he's ever been to jail. I've been knowing him for a while. I know him from, he was little bullies. He trained, he breeds dogs. Sylvester Vay, which was shocking when I read the paperwork. I've been knowing him longer than everybody. I've been knowing him longer than Big U. I know him from football. He's like a coach for Pop Warner football. I know a lot of his nephews and stuff like that. So it was like to see him involved in that, and it looked to me like he was just kind of like he was going to pick the money up. But here goes the thing with Vay. I don't know if he was going to pick money up that he thought somebody was making payments on that old money, right? Because Vay's not an aggressive dude. Vay like 59 years old. He's up there, like late 50s. He's not an aggressive dude. He's not a gang member. He's not a gang member. Vay's not a gang member. So, you know, it's a difference if somebody's telling you, yo, man, dude got some money for me, go pick it up. And he making a call and say, I'm on my way to get that money, right? Because Vay's not muscle. You get what he's not muscle, bro. He's like, if you met Vay, you would get zero threatening buys from Vay. You know what I'm saying? So it was like to read some of this stuff, I think it was things going on that a lot of these people didn't know it was going on. And they was just like, hey, go over there and pick this up, or go this or this, or this dude's supposed to have this for me. And they really thinking that's what it is. But the whole time, because of what was going on, the investigation and their association, Mark Martin, Bear Claw don't say too many words, bro. You know, he's another football coach fanatic. Sits on the board to oversee the paperwork or whatever Big U got going on. I believe he has like a body shop. Looked like they bugged his body shop, right? But you know, you can't really control what somebody's coming to talk to you about. You get what I'm saying? I don't even think Bear Claw got it in him to make trips to Vegas driving. You know, he's been ill for quite some time. You know, he's been sick for quite some time. He pretty much does this little local thing. He doesn't say too much. So I think a lot of this is kind of like they grew up together. They know each other. And if something was going on, like if you told me, Wack, you going to Vegas? Yeah, mama. Look, man, this dude over there owe me 10 grand. I was supposed to go, but I can't make it. Pick it up for me, and then when you come back out here Tuesday or whatever, I'll come by no jumper and get it for you, right? On some real shit. Well, no, for real though, right? That's happened. I've had people.
I get it, but if you call me to tell me that, I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
No. If you told me.
You told me, yo, this guy got 10 grand cash for me in Vegas. I know you're down there. Pick it up for me and I'll go get it. I'll be like, nah, I'm going to stay out of this one.
Yeah, but that's now.
If you told me about a check, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'll grab a check. Here's a check.
But
no
that's
problem.
Now, right? If I told you, Vlad, dude finna get on the plane, I can't make it. I'll be there this evening. He got a private flight going to New York or whatever. Are you at the Mandalay? Yeah, bro, if you downstairs, he gonna drop it off to you. I'm in route now, right? Let's just say it happened. Like, you're not thinking nothing about it. But then they say, like, because you picked it up, you part of whatever I did to get it.
Yeah, you're part of the conspiracy, yeah.
And at that point, it's kind of like, you know, with Vay, I don't know if Vay was really, because it's hard for me to believe because I know him. Like, that's just not him. You know what I'm saying? That's not him. That is, I've never heard Vay raise his voice. I've never seen him get mad. Now unless a kid, you know, missed a tackle or something, or a block on the football field. So, you know, reading a lot of this, and I'm seeing all these people, and I'm still yet to see where all these other people, they got like 2 Asian people, a couple Hispanics. The other lady, I don't know where she plugs in at. I think maybe she was like on some accountant type situation or something going on. So, you know, it's a lot going on, but ultimately it's only like 7 or 8 people named.
Look, if he's convicted, Big U faces 20 years for RICO, 30 years for bank fraud, 20 years for the Hobbs Act, 10 years for the Mann Act, tax evasion, 5 years, not paying tax returns, another 1 year. basically life at his age.
Yeah, because he's 58.
Yeah.
He'll be 59 on the 29th of November. Him and Game share the same birthday. So it was easy for me to remember that. He'll be 59 this year. Even on a 20-year, even if he was to get a 20-year situation,
With the
that
feds,
puts
it's
him
what,
out at 75.
85%.
Put him out at 75.
75.
And he still had, the best case scenario, I thought about it, right? Let's say he was to get everything ran together up under a 20.
Yeah.
And let's say he goes to Nevada, right? Because even on the murder case, they have some things, and then they don't have some things. And even the
and
motive,
I just want to clear up because multiple people have said this, like, oh, Big U, you know, or the victim had Big U's DNA under his fingernails.
that was wrong.
So I just want to address it on Vlad TV. They're saying the DNA was inconclusive for Big U.
It was Tory Lane style.
Right, but definitely,
couldn't be.
Definitely not the driver's DNA, but inconclusive on the Big U side. So it could be or it could not be, but that's a reasonable doubt.
Well, the
situation.
driver was, the driver from LA to Vegas, they say was Sylvester Robinson, right? And so if you read the paperwork, he stays at the studio. Right now, where the things they have with the reading the indictment paperwork is they have his phone going off at the studio, right? Then they have the witness, which is security guard, stating that he did arrive to the studio, him and Robinson. That's where they say he pulled his gun because he wasn't expecting anybody. That was Marley Marl's studio. Marley Marl's out with a chick at the Aria Hotel. He's on the strip. He don't think nobody's coming to the studio. He's not there, right? So this is why the security wasn't alerted that somebody was gonna show up. So you got the security identified them getting there, then you got the phone going off. Where it gets a little weird at is you have the time the phone went off, they went to an Airbnb. The Airbnb Ring camera catches Big U and the individual going into the Airbnb. So that creates a timestamp, right? That's the middle. They got the time the phone went off in the Airbnb. It also shows what time they left the Airbnb, and allegedly from that document, it says the victim had his suitcase and everything with him. So what they did was, the next time the phone comes on, it's back at the studio.
Right.
So it's a 48-minute triangle. So what they did was the time to get from studio to Airbnb, they have that at like 15 minutes, right? So if that's at 15 minutes, if they'd have went straight back to the Airbnb, then you had 30 minutes, right? It's an 18-minute lapse. So what they've done was they went from studio to Airbnb where they can see the Airbnb time. And then they went Airbnb to where they found the body, how much time it takes to get there. And then they went from where the body was found back to the studio where the phone came back on, right? So the Airbnb kind of is in the middle of it because it kind of like puts everybody somewhere. I think they found whatever they say they found. I don't even think it was on the body. It might have been on the sock or something like that. Whatever they say. It's kind of like how they had Tory Lanez, his case. It could be, could not be. So when you got the security and you got the Ring camera footage, right? That's the kind of like, But you don't know, there's no gun. I don't believe they had a vehicle. You can fight the the DNA, and the motive is a little off because this song I didn't.
Yeah, the motive was the biggest thing for it because like, okay, so Big U killed a rapper nobody has ever heard of doing a song nobody will ever hear.
Yeah, but they're playing some song and I'm listening to it, and I don't hear no. Me knowing.
So you say you heard the song?
Yeah, they played the song.
Oh,
right, that is supposed to be, but it like references the big man with the money, something about a 38, but it doesn't really. It's no diss. But even if it was,
so it's not even a diss song.
No, listen. not a diss song. I didn't hear no diss song.
Okay.
Right? And
That's
even
crazy.
if it was a diss, right? I could see Big U lining him up with some of his little homeboys.
Yeah,
Right.
doing it himself?
No, I can
At
see.
age 7 at the time?
That-
Ridiculous.
It just did and then now they got this weird thing now, which it kind of, I hate to say it, it kind of helps his case because now the narrative is the victim and Big U's son, and I'm gonna tell you where they got this from. In the indictment, it's a phone call allegedly from Big U to his son, right? And he says, don't talk about the murder of RW to nobody. Now, when people hear the son right now, the only son that people's looking at is the one that plays for the NFL, Deion Henley, right? Big U has 3 sons, right? Deion's not a gang member. He doesn't participate in street activity. Nice young man, watch him grow. But this is the part that's getting weird. Now they're saying, well, Big U's motive wasn't the rap song. It was that he found out that the rapper and his son, Deion, were lovers. And he was scared that if this got out, he would be affected in the NFL. Now, it's a few key things. One, there's people that have came out in all sports that it doesn't affect.
Yeah, there was...
But 2, let's get to the real part of it. I've been knowing this young man since he's been about 7, 8 years old, right? There's nothing feminine or nothing gay about Deion Henley, right? So I don't know who started that one. Yeah, me and Big U got our problems, we got our issues, but whenever it came down to his children, I've been in situations since we've been at it where I've stepped up to the plate for his children. And you know what? I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Maybe 2022-ish or 2023, in the heart of our beef, my daughter and her mother went to Crenshaw High to the celebrity basketball game. A bunch of people sending me pictures. Yo, Wack, man, you better get some people up there, right? So in the picture, you know what I see? About 8 feet, 5 feet behind them, guess who I see?
Big U?
Big U. And when I seen Big U was that close to him, you know what I knew? They were good. Regardless of what me and him going through, right? They were good. And this at Crenshaw High. This 2022, 2023. Like, people sending me photos like, yo, you better. But once I seen him in the picture in the building, I knew I didn't have to worry about it. Same way with his son, with his middle son, right? He was in the situation, I was in the building. And I made sure his son got home safe. So in this situation, they need to kill that. It's nothing. They said, oh, he wore his jewelry. Hey, it's grown men today that wear other men's jewelry. Watches, chains, medallions, I see it all the time. That doesn't make them to be lovers. If they homies, they homies.
Well, I mean, why would you want to kill your son's boyfriend? What's that going to do? Not make him be gay?
Well,
just find a new boyfriend.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Unless
but see,
it's like a older man molesting a young boy, then I get it. Now, if you say RW was 40 and his son was 12 or 15, then I can see why you might kill that guy. But just as a father,
bro, I know
a regular boyfriend who's the same age as your son, who cares?
I know all his children.
I'm just saying it's all
all his
like
children. I know all 3 boys. I know his 2 daughters. His one daughter is like, I think she's older than his oldest boy, vice versa. I know all their characters, all their demeanors. Deion is a total opposite of everybody else. Calm, cool, collective. He ain't got nothing to do with the streets. He's athletic, right? His oldest son is probably the closest thing to being like Big U when it comes to just being quiet and subtle but explosive when he want to be. The middle son was always what I say our headache because he was just the busybody. You get what I'm saying? But none of them have ever displayed any signs of going that route. And it's kind of crazy that since he's in jail that they're saying that. He I believe he led his team in tackles at the Chargers. All he did was work hard his whole life to get to that playing field. It's a sad thing. His pops was going through what he's going through. and then that they're even tying him to something that has to do with somebody that was a close friend of his. But it's even more savage for the internet and somebody in the media that probably live in Maine somewhere to come up with this narrative that people right here are really running with, right? People that say that like they cool with Big U, right? Me and Big U got our issues, but when it comes to certain things, especially involving the kids, they not there to be attacked like that, especially under false pretense. That's what's crazy.
Well, this whole thing about checking in has taken center stage again. And there's this video with Chris Brown and Big U that's been making its rounds. So basically, it's a young Chris Brown. This is like about 10, 15 years ago, something like that. And Big U is like, yeah, you know, Chris has donated 500 pairs of sneakers, you know, for this worthy cause for the kids. He's going to donate 500 more. Like, oh, shit.
This young man just gave out 500 pair of tennis shoes. And he about to give out another 500 pair of tennis shoes.
No. This is the problem with it.
Chris Brown didn't know about the 500 more sneakers.
He
Look
said
at his
this
face.
young man has donated 5, and I believe, I could be lying, only CB would know, I believe that Big U might have been over-exaggerating, saying 500 pairs, a lot of goddamn pairs of shoes, right? And I think when he said, and he gonna do another 500 more, see, this was crazy. That video been out forever.
Right.
But prior to this, what's going on right now, it would have been no big deal. But now it's kind of like, you know, and I'm trying to like see what era this was with Chris. Was he running around with the homies or not? Because the homies ain't going for that. That ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, he been running with the homies tough for at least 10 years. He looked kind of young, but I did see the expression on Chris Brown's face like, oh, am I? You know what I'm saying? I don't believe Chris paid for the shoes. I believe maybe one entity donated the shoes, and Big U went and got Chris, a celebrity, to come pass out the shoes. It's a good look for Chris. You know, maybe it was a joint venture between, you know, whoever gave the shoes up. Could have been Shoe Palace or something, because Shoe Palace has always been great at. I've called them at times and they done sent 50, 60, 75 pair of shoes overnight when we doing something for the community. But it looks a little treacherous.
I don't know. I watched the video. I didn't try to make a mountain out of a molehill.
I mean, what did you get from that? I mean,
I think Chris Brown was like, okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, like $100 a pair. That's another 50 grand for Chris Brown, and
yeah, but even
who's
then,
mega rich by this point.
Yeah, but I don't even think. I'm gonna be right. I don't think Chris Brown donated nothing but his time and who he was, which is worth 10 times that. You know what I mean? Back then, even now today, I will say this, I've never known or heard of Chris Brown being pressed in this industry, even prior to him associating with certain people in the streets. I've never heard of Chris Brown getting pressed. The Chris Brown that I know, you know, he can have a temper. You know what I mean? You got to really whoop Chris Brown ass, and even then, he ain't gonna do it. So, but you know, if the right people that's tied to him come to him like, yo, man, dude, trying to do this for the kids, right? I think he would show up and do that. I mean, why wouldn't he?
Weren't you, now that I think about it, weren't you somehow involved in the whole Chris Brown, Tyson Beckford back and forth?
No, I was involved in the Chris Brown Soulja Boy.
Oh, okay.
I was the one setting up the fight. I was setting the fight up. First it was Floyd and 50. Then I got involved with it. And Floyd like, you know what, Wack? He is kind of part of that tribe over there. I'm gonna step back and let y'all do y'all thing. And you know, Soulja Boy signed his contract. He signed it. I had my man Frenchie with Chris. Chris said, man, Soulja Boy ain't gonna sign it. He said, Wax with him now. He's FaceTime and he signed it. You called him out. We doubled the money. We doubled everything.
How much was it?
Well, they were giving Soulja Boy $1 million.
$1 million?
And they was giving Chris Brown, I believe it was $2 or $3 million. So what we did, we guaranteed Soulja Boy $2 million. We guaranteed Chris Brown $5 million. We were doing it in Dubai. We had the private jets, and we had Verizon and a few other people coming in with sponsorships. We cut them into the sponsorships, and we cut them into the pay-per-view, right? So it was a great deal, but it really was a lose. It was a lose-lose
for Chris.
For Chris, because if he'd have got in there and Soulja Boy get off and get lucky is meme of the year, and then for Chris to get in the ring behind some street shit, being who he was as an R&B artist, he would have made a ton of money that day for that event, but in the long run, he probably would have lost a little bit too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
What'd you think, like recently Chris Brown did a post asking his fans not to wear red bandanas in his upcoming shows?
Let me tell you what I think about that. Some troll, here we go again, goes on the internet and says, everybody wear red bandanas, right? Now, Chris didn't have to say nothing, because if they would have showed up like that, he could have said, well, that ain't me that told him to do it. I don't even know these people. But he would have got the blame for it. The minute a melee, a fight, somebody would have got shot, stabbed, or killed at this event, they would have blamed Chris. So I think Chris Brown, I believe he came on there and said, wear your brown do-rags in representation of him. I believe he did right. You know what I mean? I believe he's waking up and understanding, okay, these things that I may be a part of, associated with, right, isn't healthy for what my image and what my business is. So I believe he did right. He did the right thing. He gave them an option, wear the brown bandanas.
There you
You're
go.
coming to see Chris Brown.
There you go. I remember I interviewed Tony Yayo recently, and we were talking about Big U and the whole checking in phenomenon and so forth. I think, didn't Nipsey Hussle refer to it as friendly extortion?
I don't know, because me and my people, me and my team, when it comes to checking in with us, is making us aware that you're here because the climate changes from the last time you may have been here. I check in everywhere I go. I was just about to go to Florida, and I can show you on my phone where I hit my Miami team, said I might be down there Friday. You know what he told me? Man, I gotta go up top for my son's birthdays. Glad you let me know. So I'm gonna let the team know that you're gonna be here in case you need them. You know, Vlad, you know, like I know, sometimes you moving with one, sometimes you moving with three, depending on what's going on. I get a call like, yo, man, they got a mansion party, such and such gonna be there. He say he'll talk to you there. Then I might need to show up to that a little different, right? And you know, we don't travel around here moving 20 people from LA to there. It gets a little expensive, but if you got a team that's in these different places, you just simply know they coming. I've never had, I got people from Chicago, from New York, Atlanta, Texas, everywhere. They'll call me. They may need a car. They need yo, Wack, you got to hook up on I need a Rose. Then I'll call Platinum. You know what I mean? Because I know the owners down there. Wack, we trying to get a hotel. You know, okay, well, call my guy over here. He always has an in on that. So, or where's a good place, man? My girl's trying to go to a spot. Hit the Waldorf or hit, you know, it's like the checking in that me and my team did is just kind of being a guide. You know what I'm saying? And helping the situation, you know, the comfort zone of it. I do it all the time, bro.
Well, I brought this up to Tony Yayo, and he said that at no point did G-Unit ever check in. They just moved militant everywhere they went. They said whatever city they went into, they didn't tap in with the local gangsters or whatever.
I think New York niggas just don't tap in with anybody. Niggas just try to learn the geographics and try to move militant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rest in peace to a nigga like Pop Smoke.
They've always kept it themselves. They've always moved deep.
But what Tony Yayo not telling you is, it's a lot of times 50 had a Navy SEALs moving with him, ex-military moving with him. So at that point,
that's fine.
You don't have, but it's been time before Uncle Murder was moving him the way he was. Murder would call me and be like, bro, I'll be down there this weekend. I got a strip club over here in West Hollywood somewhere. And vice versa. Murder, I'll be in the pest control video. That's in the Pink Projects, Uncle Murder. Murder, listen, bro, we on the tour bus. gang want to shoot this video tomorrow, and we come over there to the projects, right? We ain't just pop up. I called, bro. It could have been something going on. They projects could have been hot. Could have been some shootings. Could have been some retaliations. Could have been some raids. He might have told me, Wack, it's a little hot over here, but let me call my people over here at this other spot. So, you know, checking in is not, when it comes to a lot of us, as far as my team, is just like it's like your people, man. You know what I'm saying? They got a relationship with you. You know what I mean? Jim Jones been coming out here for ages, right? And he go over there and he the homies. Rest in peace, Hot Dog. You know what I mean? And there's a few other homies over there he deal with. They don't charge Jim Jones. Jim in town. You know what I'm saying? When K Slay come to town, you can pull the thing, bridging the gap. It's me and Slay. I got K Slay in Compton, Watts, Pacoima, Long Beach, South Central. Me and him. God body stuff on, hat twisted, New York hat twisted. Papoose, all of them then came out here. It's no, you gotta pay us, you gotta do that. Is you a guest in our backyard when we got this thing. Whenever we go eat, if I'm in New York, if I pull my credit card out at Mr. Childs, and anybody knows Slay, he go to Mr. Childs like it's McDonald's. He would really want to fight. Yo, what you doing, yo? You in New York. But if he's here, it's the same thing, right? So it's kind of like,
I'm in the car,
you know, I don't know. I'm not in the business of charging nobody. I'm in the business of building,
I was just trying to talk
building
about
relationships and communicating. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. My man Headliner Mike runs Live. This is real talk. When Headliner used to come out here and do the his events in Hollywood doing BET weekend, I will put Headliner Mike on a text blast. Well, 4 or 5 of us. Big U was one of them, right? Headliner Mike is my guy. You go to Live, you go to Miami, and they telling you Live is sold out, and you call me, Mike, Vlad in town, Wack, send him to the side door, right? Cool. But I put him on the blast. I said, I know I may not see you, brother, but hey, Headliner Mike's in town. Our guy that runs Live, who always shows us love in Miami, right? Mike, if there's anything you may need or any problems or issues you run into, just hit this blast. Now, he on the blast with South Central, the Valley, Compton, Long Beach, Watts, right? He didn't have to pay us nothing. We just making sure it's BET weekend. Bro is doing a big event. He may have a problem at the door. He may need, y'all got somebody that, I need this, I need that, or whatever. And then that's what it is. It ain't, I've never personally charged nobody that called me to tell me they're here.
I think what people are referring to is something like this. Me and you had a problem for a while.
Okay.
I check in with Big U and say, listen, can you handle this Wack situation for me? Now I'm indebted to Big U for the situation that me and you have.
Well, that's happened. That's happened with
and I've always avoided this because you know what's interesting, and I kind of touched on this when we did the podcast, and I'll specifically say what it's about since it's just me and you now. This was around the time that you and Mike Tyson had that podcast, and I'd done a post saying that the whole fight with Mike Tyson wasn't real, right? And you called me and said, Wack is upset over you doing that post.
Who did?
Big U.
He capped. I never saw your post.
Okay, that's what he said. He said that you were upset with me, and I said, well,
Did
from
he
what I
ask you
understand
for
is
something?
true, so I'm gonna stand on it. He goes,
Did he
okay,
ask you
and that
for
was the end of that.
I don't know.
You don't remember that?
I mean, no, I don't.
I'm just telling you, but it wasn't
Did
like
I say something under the post? Because if I'm upset, Vlad, I'm gonna say something.
I think you were blocked at that point.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, you got to remember, I wouldn't have never been upset at the post because I created the post.
You've been upset at me over stuff that I've done.
No, Vlad, think about it.
Okay,
have I ever mentioned that? I've never mentioned that to you.
No, you've never mentioned it to me. But
Yeah,
that's why I'm bringing it up now,
I've never
because me and him
mentioned
had a phone call. So if his phone was tapped, this is what we talked about, okay? Let me just put it out there, all right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't have been upset at anybody because the post was designed, if you thinking back, Mike Tyson was kind of just starting his podcast.
Right.
People really wasn't paying it no attention. The post was designed to drive traffic to his podcast.
I get what you were doing. I was just saying it didn't happen.
No, but stop
and
right
I'm still
there.
saying it.
But stop right there. if you did comment on it, right?
Well, I did a post on Vlad TV
or whatever
on
you
the news
did,
site, yeah.
but it was about that, right?
Right.
Then I wouldn't have been mad at you because now in the eyes of the people I'm working with, it's working. Because for you to go repost it, remember, I did that post, not because Mike is my enemy, not because I whooped Mike's ass.
As an older adult, I didn't want to spend.
Yeah, love, this shit finna go crazy. This shit finna go crazy.